I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. Been real bad. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt, down in the dirt, down in the dirt, down in the dirt.
Alrighty, race fans. Welcome to Wicked Wednesday. We are here at Concord Speedway. And for those of you that don't know much about Concord Speedway is located in the town of Midland, North Carolina, just southeast of Concord. This complex features a half-mile tri-oval. And that's what we'll be racing on tonight. We're in the SK Modifieds. The boys are out there putting in some qualifying times, and we're going to be waiting for them to finish qualifying, and we'll show the grid. Not going to be a huge field tonight. Looks like we might be competing with the actual NASCAR Craftsman, or Camping World Series race at Eldora. Didn't realize the race was at Eldora. tonight, or we may have postponed this 1 week. And it looks like qualifying is just about done. Cars are starting to grid up. Looks like we've got Edward Bray sitting on the pole with a 15.781 and Paul Pellizier on the outside with a 16.017. Lining up third would have been Mitchell Reeves. Fourth, Greg McClendon. Fifth, Freeman Kelly. Sixth, Jay Anderson. Seventh, Ronald Klein, myself, which I am not racing tonight. And eighth, Joel Guy. Ninth, Paul Patterson. So we'll see how many drivers we end up with actually out here on the field. We had a couple drivers, looked like they had left the room. Interesting racetrack that we're at tonight. It's a tri-oval, much like Pocono, for those of you that are familiar with Pocono. Still waiting for the remainder of the cars to grid up. And looks like some of them may have missed the grid. So we're going to follow in blimp mode here and see what happens. Lights on the pace car do seem to be out. I was mistaken. The lights on the pace car are on. Still under caution yet. Probably be coming to the green flag this lap. So again, a small field, but it's a short track. Should be a lot of fun watching these guys take us around this 0.5 mile speedway. Once again, we are at Concord Speedway. Green flag is out. Edward Bray takes off to an early lead with Paul Pellizier following in second and Joel Guy in third. Weather for today, we're currently sitting at 79.21 degrees and the track temp is 104.86. The humidity of 45% and partly cloudy, looks like. Edward Bray out there leading. Starting pole just a little bit away from Paul Pellizier in that second place. Joel Guy rounding out our top three. Pop back there with Joel Guy and take a ride inside with Joel Guy around this 0.5 mile speedway so you get an idea what it's like to drive around one of these short tracks. This would be considered turn 1 and turn 2 and turn 3. Joel Guy getting into the wall a little there, it looks like. Last lap of a 16.792, so we've got 125 laps tonight. You can imagine it's going to go pretty fast with lap times in the 16 15 and 16-second range. Let's go ahead and jump up with our leader, the number 66 of Edward Bray. His last lap of a 16.071, now a 16.032. So Edward picking it up just a little bit there. Running that line down to the inside. Getting on the brakes. Fun little racetrack here. I'm sure a lot of the guys out there wishing that they could have made the race tonight. Would have made for some exciting racing on the short track. Like to give a big shout out to Becky Whitmer out there on the KMA TV chat. Thanks for tuning in, Becky. Looks like Edward Bray has pulled out to a 2.2 second lead. Joel Guy has fallen back 12.95 seconds, and looks like Joel Guy has spun it to the inside. Let's jump in there with Joel. Looks like no caution. That's good. No cautions. We're big fans of no cautions. Joel Guy gets her going. Now this is a series, so these drivers will be collecting points, and Joel Guy just barely scraping the wall there. Edward Bray takes him down to the inside. Nice job getting around the slower car of Joel Guy there. Paul Pelliser still in it to win it, trying to chase down that number 66 of Edward Bray. Almost kind of prefer that there's less cars. A little allows me to focus on just the 3 cars. Take a look back at our leader, Edward Bray. Paul Pelliser has knocked that lead down to about 1.9 seconds. Talked to Edward Bray in practice, and he said he was very comfortable in these cars. Doing a great job out there so far. Paul Pelliser looks like he's pretty comfortable in these cars as well. Not doing too bad, only 1.9 and 1.8 seconds back. So Paul Pelliser slowly starting to close in on that front car of Edward Bray. $15 laps down of 125 laps, and they're just ticking by. This race will be over before we know it, folks. As we watch this number 66 of Edward Bray make his way around this 0.5 mile tri-oval short track. See how he gets around. We got a car upside down. That will bring out a caution flag. Let's go ahead and try to find out exactly what happened there. Like Joel Guy coming around turn 3. Ooh, gets into that outside wall pretty hard and puts it on the lid. Hopefully Joel will be okay and be able to get back out there. Looks like he's currently in the pits. So let's jump to our leader and see if he's going to stay out or if he's going to pit. And he is going to pit. Give these fellas a moment to go ahead and get their pit stops in, and then we'll see if we can grab a quick word with one of them. Like to have everyone, give everyone a chance to know about PAD, People Against Distracted Driving's, for a great cause. If you have any questions about it, please Google it, look it up. Really is an important cause. Looks like Edward Bray and Paul Pellissier both taking rights and left side tires. That took a little longer than I expected. Let's go ahead and get Edward Bray on up here. Edward Bray, Ron Klein up here in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Hey, how's it going, Ronald?
I'm doing great. The laps are ticking by real fast. Unfortunately, we did have a caution there. Looks like the number 91 got into the outside wall and put it on the lid. But you're out there just pacing the field, looks like. Paul Pellissier kind of fell back, and then he started kind of closing the gap a little bit. How's the car running?
Well, the car's running great. Tires started going away a little bit. Track started getting a little bit slick, so I was having to let off just a little bit more. But other than that, the car's running great.
Good to know. Good to know. So it looked like we had some more cars, but they didn't grid for some reason or another. Kind of a shame we only got 3 cars out here, but at the same time, I guess it looks like you guys will be doing very well in the points after tonight.
Looks like it. And looks like we're getting ready to go green. I'm not sure where everybody else is at.
Alrighty, well, I didn't realize we were getting ready to go back to green. I'll let you go, sir.
Thanks.
So as we go back to green, Edward Bray is your leader. Paul Pellissier currently 2 laps down. Not sure exactly what happened to him. If we get a chance to talk with him, we will definitely do that. In the meantime, don't see Paul Pellissier within camera shot in front of Edward. So let's go ahead and take a jump back and look and see where Paul is just now coming through turn 3. See if we can get a blimp overview and see if we can catch the 2 of them in the same shot. Fortunately, it does not look like that's going to work out for us either. So I will be jumping back and forth from Edward Bray to Paul Pellissier, who looks like there's about a half a lap of a difference there. So it's going to take quite a bit of work and some great driving from Paul Pellissier to catch that number 66 of Edward Bray. Edward Bray still in the lead here on lap 29, coming to 30 of 125 laps. Paul Pellissier just in front of him. I can hear the engine as he goes by the cameras, so let's jump inside the cockpit with Edward Bray. See what he sees. And as I said, you can see what looks to appear to be Paul Pellissier just in front of Edward Bray. Jump to that blimp shot. Nope, I'm mistaken, folks. That's Joel Guy, who's made it back out onto the racetrack. So Joel Guy joining us for the race again. Looks like Joel Guy might have gotten a little loose there, slid up into the wall. Going to be very interesting to see how these drivers drive this race tonight. They have 100% fuel load, which pretty much allows them to make the entire race without pitting for fuel. The question is, will they want to pit for tires at some point? So that will be oh, and it looks like we've got another caution. Gives me a chance to work on my skills here. Gonna have to back it up manually. And it looks like Joel Guy spun it sideways. There we go. Had a little bit of difficulty there, but watching Joel Guy come around turn 2. Just gets up into that wall again. Cars are a lot harder to drive than they look like then. Go ahead and get back to current time here and see. Edward Bragg makes it out of the pits. Paul Pellizier just pulling out of the pits just in front of Edward Bray. So it looks like the action's kind of slowing down here. Let's talk with Paul Pellizier. Paul Pellizier.
Look at my pit.
Paul Pellizier Jr. is Ron Klein. You got a copy?
I do. How are you, Ronald?
I'm doing good. It's actually quite entertaining and quite a bit of fun watching you guys run around here. Wish there's a few more cars out here, but nonetheless, how's your car running tonight?
It feels pretty good. Slightly on the loose side.
So I noticed you're 2 laps down. I'm not sure. Didn't quite exactly catch how that happened. Oh, I'm gonna let you go, sir. Looks like you're going back green flag.
All right. It was a glitch. I was stuck in my pit.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. Unfortunately, there was a glitch, and Paul Pellizier gets caught in the pits, 2 laps down. Now, he's in danger of going 3 laps down to Edward Bray right now. If Edward Bray can get around him, that would put him 3 laps down. Talking to Ted Emmenheiser on that KMA TV chat. Thanks for tuning in, Ted. Wishing that we did have a few more cars out here to make it a little more entertaining for the fans, but I guess the guys, when they watch the broadcast, will see what they missed and hopefully be able to make it next week. As we complete lap 44, coming to 45 of 125 laps. Edward Bray still your leader. Paul Pellizier still managing to stay out in front of him right now. Just a 2-car battle, but it's still racing. Well, we've got a moment here. I'd like to raise some more awareness about pad. Paul Pellizer still managing to stay in front of Edward Bray, keeping him only 2 laps down. Edward Bray may be taking it easy on his tires, or maybe Paul Pellizer's found something and is a little bit quicker. Won't know until we get a chance to talk to these fellas later in the race. Like to give a big shout out to Gary Whitmer Sr. Seeing him on that KMA TV chat. Thanks for tuning in. And Gary and Ted having a conversation about the cars. They are fun to drive. I was driving them earlier, and again, as I said, wish that we had a few more cars out here. We had enough cars that actually showed up that would have put on quite a show for us. Even just 8 cars would have put on a little, quite a better show than what we've got now. But there's some good racing going on right now. Excited about the upcoming broadcast tomorrow night at Daytona, and of course we'll be right back in here on Wednesday next week at a new track. I can tell you all about that. Next week we'll be in the K&N Pro Chevrolet Impala at Thompson Motor Speedway Park. That should be a great race. I'm sure that'll draw quite a few more drivers. Paul Pellizer still managing to stay out in front of Edward Bray. Probably hoping that a caution would come out, but the only way that a caution would come out, well, Joel Guy has made it back out onto the track, so now there are 3 chances for a caution to come out, but only 2 of them would work for Paul Pellizer. Either Edward Bray or Joel Guy would have to mess up, spin, and bring out a caution for Paul to get one of his laps back. Like Edward Bray is starting to close in on Paul Pellizer. Paul may have driven a little too hard and burned his stuff up. Edward Bray starting to close in on him. Really close on him there in turn 3. Take a ride along with Edward Bray here. As Edward Bray makes a move down to the inside, gets underneath Paul Pellizer. I believe that will put Paul Pellizer 3 laps down now. We just crossed halfway a couple laps ago. We are on lap 61 of 125 laps. We've only had 2 cautions for a total of 10 laps. The race pace, pretty quick. We should be done with this race. If we don't have any more cautions, we'll be done with this race before the end of the hour. Edward Bray starting to close in on Joel Guy. Joel Guy looks like he's still having a little bit of difficulty getting around this 0.5 mile short track, but he's going to walk away tonight with a 3rd place finish, it looks like. So Joel Guy will be in 3rd place in the points after tonight. I'm sure Paul Pellizer Jr. is looking to get it, still looking to get one of his laps back. Like I said, currently 3 laps, or it's showing 2 laps down actually. Not sure if there's another glitch there or not. Kind of strange. He was in front of the leader 2 laps down, and now he's behind the leader and he's 2 laps down. So not sure exactly what's going on tonight. Must be multiple glitches because Paul had said that it glitched on him when he was in the pits and kept him there. So not sure exactly what's going on, but nevertheless, even 2 laps down, Paul Pellizier making a run at Edward Bray, keeping things interesting here, giving us something to talk about. Paul Pellizier closing in on that number 66. Lost just a little bit of time there in turn 3. Joel Guy trying to get out of the way. Looks like he took it up high to keep it out of the way for Edward Bray and Paul Pellizier. And we are under caution once again. Let's see if we can find out what happened. Looks like the number 91. Looks like Joel Guy and the number 91. Coming around turn 2, slaps the wall, coming through 3. Oh, just gets into that front wall and spins it out. Not sure exactly what happened there. That could be a big break for Mr. Paul Pellizier. Will not give him a chance to win the race, obviously, but possibly will give him a chance to get a lap back. We'll see what he decides to do as we jump in with Edward Bray. He is in the pits. Paul Pellizier decides to stay out. We'll see what how that all shakes down. Currently showing Edward Bray out there in first position. Paul Pellizier showing 19 seconds back, so he is basically on the lead lap in front of the leader. Now showing 1 lap down. So Paul Pellizier getting one of his laps back. Unfortunately, was not able to pit for tires and doesn't need the fuel, but Edward Bray going in and getting some fresh tires, that probably will make it a little more difficult for Paul Pellizier to hang on to the tail end of Edward Bray, but we will see. It's like Joel Guy is back in pit road getting repairs. The lights are out on the pace car. 66 is ready to take the green flag here as we come off turn 3. Green flag is out. Edward Bray scoots away. Paul Pellizier Trying to hang as best as he can. The shame that glitch happened, or we could have seen Edward Bray and Paul Pellizier fighting it out here at the end of the race here. They've been pretty close to each other pretty much the entire night. Now, it does look like the tires might be making a slight bit of difference as Edward Bray's starting to pull away just a little bit from Paul Pellizier as we cross lap 83 of 125, coming to lap 84. This race is about 3/4 of the way in the book. So before the caution, I was gonna throw it out there to anybody watching. A little bit of trivia for you. NASCAR held 12 Grand National races on the original dirt half mile located off of the Tent Road in Concord. If anybody can tell me any one of the years from the 12 years that they did it, I will be sending you something in the mail. Won't be a hat, but it's a surprise. I don't quite have them yet, but a little surprise in the mail for anybody that's out there on that KMA TV chat. Looks like Edward Bray is off and out driving by himself. Let's jump back to Paul Pellizier. Paul Pellizier looks like maybe his tires might have gone away, having a little bit of difficulty keeping that car down. Currently showing 2 laps behind the leader. Now it's showing 1 lap behind the leader. Poor iRacing can't make up its mind tonight. Paul Pellizier still out there turning pretty good lap times. 16.465, and we'll jump to Edward Bray and see what those new tires look like on his. His last lap was a 15.9, now a 16. So there is about a half a second difference with the when you're running 16 second laps. 30 or so laps, and Paul Pellizier could be lapped at this point again with only 30 to go. There is a distinct possibility that Edward Bray may catch him and put him another lap down. Paul Pellizier is 1 lap down at this point. It keeps showing different things because of where he is on the track and the comparison that I have up there. So before the end of the race, before the race is over, tonight it's brought to you by RTK Motorsports. I'd like to thank everybody for watching tonight. This is the Wicked Wednesday series. We're not going to give up, even though the car count was low tonight. Hopefully the guys will see the replay, see how much fun it was, even though we only had a few cars out here tonight. We're not going to be giving up. We're going to continue running this series. I want to thank the fans out there for watching. Alright, Becky, 1 second. The question is, NASCAR held 12 Grand National, which is now the Sprint Cup Series, 12 Grand National races on the original dirt half mile located off popular Tent Road in Concord. So on the speedway there was a half mile dirt track. I'm not sure if it's still there, but NASCAR held 12 Grand National races there. If you can name any one of the years when they held a race here, I will send you something special in the mail. Maybe a week or so before it gets to you, but something special. Got a surprise. Edward Bray still out there leading. Has led all 100 laps of 100 with just 24 laps to go. Paul Pellizier just coming through turns 1 as we jump back to Edward Bray. Paul Pellizier entering turn 3, jumping back to Edward Bray. He is coming through 2, entering 3, so he is continuing to gain on Paul Pellizier. Obviously, those tires are making a difference. Edward Bray setting a blistering pace out here. Could tell in practice he was very comfortable in the car, and it's definitely showing. Haven't seen him make many mistakes. Doing a great job out there. Paul Pellizier doing a great job as well. Unfortunately, whatever issue there was in iRacing kind of put him in a bad position, put him a couple laps down, and he fought hard, did what he could, but those old tires just can't hang. So unfortunate for Paul Pellizier, but he's not giving up. He's going to drive it all the way to the end and probably try to stay in front of Edward Bray regardless. Looks like Joel Guy has taken it to the pits. Not sure if he is going to be able to get back out there or not, but the only 2 cars left on the track right now are Edward Bray and Paul Pellizier. Paul Pellizier just entering turn 2, going through 3. And I had seen Edward Bray just on the edge of the screen. Looks like it's about at the front stretch. With 17 laps to go now. Edward Bray in charge and in command of this race. Doing a great job. And man, this race is going by so fast. We better get some more thank yous out there before we don't have a chance. Want to give a big shout out there to GW Graphics for our Monday Night Series sponsor. Pro Automotive for our Tuesday Night Series sponsor. Blaze Pizza. Sorry about that, folks. Blaze Pizza for our Friday night sponsorship. And of course, myself, RTK Motorsports for tonight, and bringing you tomorrow night's broadcast as part of KMA TV. So with just a handful of laps to go, we got about 15 laps to go. Looks like Joel Guy has gotten the car repaired, and he is making his way back out onto the track. Let's jump back with the leader real quick and see Joel Guy giving the leader plenty of room. Looks like Joel just wants to try to get out there and finish this race. Edward Bray still slightly closing in on Paul Pellizier, but does not look like he's going to get to him unless Paul makes a major mistake. Regardless, Edward Bray out there leading all 113 laps. Putting out a fast lap of 15.864. That is pretty fast, folks. And his last lap was about 16.5 seconds, 16.3 seconds. So he is still trying to hunt. Looks like he's still trying to hunt Paul Pellizier down. We're down to 10 laps to go, folks. It is going fast. This is gonna be over. Gary Whitmer Jr., that guess is incorrect. But thank you for trying. Thank you for playing. You can still make another guess, though. As laps wind down, we've got 9 to go. I'd tell you to, try to pick the winner, and I'd give you something for that, but that would be kind of unfair for me because it looks like Edward Bray pretty much has this in the bag with just 8 laps to go, and it's about to be 7. Paul Pellizier getting around Joel Guy. Joel Guy just kind of running out there on that high line, looks like. Edward Bray getting underneath him. No problems for Edward Bray. Edward Bray bringing her through turn 3. Back to the start-finish line with just 6 laps to go, folks. 6 laps to go. Real quick out there on that KMA TV chat, one last time, I'll give you NASCAR held 12 Grand National races on the original dirt half-mile track located in Concord. What years were they? Any of the 12 or any of the years that that you can any year, and I'll send you that prize. Wife says 1960. I'm going to tell you, you were so close, but 1960 is incorrect as we're coming to 3 to go. Edward Bray is absolutely in command. Has Paul Pellissier in his sights, but do not believe that he's going to be able to catch him and put him another lap down. Not that he needs to. Two laps to go. No issues for Paul Pellissier Jr. or Edward Bray. Joel Guy trying to make sure that he stays out of the way of the leader. We are at 1 to go. And Edward Bray crossing the finish line. 125 laps, and just like that, it's done and it's over with, folks. Wow, that was a fast race. Edward Bray bringing it home first. Paul Pellissier Jr. bringing it home second. And Joel Guy bringing it home third. Well, this is great. I get to talk to all 3 drivers tonight. Alrighty, fellas. That was a fast race. 125 laps. It's only 8:48, and the race is over already. Let's start with Joel Guy. Joel Guy, talk to me.
Rough night.
Looked like you were having a little bit of problems out there, but nothing too major. Is this your first time in the modifieds?
Yes, it is, and I have a definite respect for Edward Bray and Paul Pesner being able to drive these things.
Well, your car looks really, really good right now. It doesn't look like got too much damage on it. Just a little bit of front bumper damage. But talk to me about your night, and talk to me about Concord Speedway.
Well, Concord Speedway's a funny shaped track. It's a good track to race short track cars on. It's just I've never raced in these cars, so I did not know what to expect with them, and I did not get the car until this afternoon. You said I didn't have much damage, but my steering wheel's about 120 degrees out, and that's what I was driving with.
Well, I guess you can't be too mad. You managed to bring it home in 3rd place, so not that bad of a night.
No, not that bad of a night. Like I said, I've definitely got a deep respect for Edward and Paul being able to drive these cars, and I'll have to have a lot more practice before I get in another one of these things.
Alrighty, well, next week we are going to be in the K&N Pro Car at Thompson Speedway. So, have you raced that track in that car?
I have not raced in that car. I've raced that track in street stocks, late models, and legends.
Alrighty, well, the late models are very, very similar to the K&N Pro. They're just a little souped up version, a little more horsepower. So, well, congratulations on a 3rd place finish. Thanks for coming out for the inaugural race of the Summer Short Track Series. And congratulations on a 3rd place.
Thank you, Ronald, and glad to be here. And glad you had a good broadcast.
I actually had a great time up here. I wish we had a few more cars to make it a little more interesting for the fans. I tried to keep it as interesting as possible, but in any case, thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, Paul Pellizer Jr., talk to me, sir.
Hey, Ron. Nice to be in a race where you didn't get wrecked out.
It looked like you and Edward were having a great time out there. I had talked to you a little bit during the caution. Unfortunately, cautions are so fast here. We don't get a lot of time to talk to the drivers. So, and I didn't want to mess with you guys while you're on pit road. So, explain to me. You said there was some kind of a glitch or something that ended up putting you laps down.
Yeah, I went in to take tires, during the caution. I figured fresh rubber. If the leader was, I would. And 20 seconds went by, 30 seconds went by. I'm in gear. I'm stepping on the gas. The car won't move. So after a minute, I was forced to get out of the car and get back in, and sure enough, it took off. But I ended up a couple laps down.
Well, that's a shame because believe it or not, I mean, when you guys were both on equal tires, you were within a few cars of each other, whether you were in front of him or whether you were behind him. I thought that it would have been a really, really good race had that unfortunate incident not happened. So, anyways, regardless, talk to me about what you think about Concord Speedway, the short track series, and the modified you're driving.
Oh, I love a short track. And the car, I mean, it's been probably 8 years since I've sat in this car, and the seat doesn't fit me anymore. My butt's grown or something. But the track is fun. Coming out of turn 1 is like a little rise, and if you don't do it just right, and you got too much throttle, it kind of wants to make you break loose. Turn 2, for when on fresh rubber, you can pretty much flat-foot it through it, and then turn 3, you're hard on the brakes because that wall comes up quick, which I met a couple times.
So, does it share any similarities to like Pocono?
Nah, this is a short track. It's definitely got a short track personality. A lot of wheel turn to get through the corners, a lot of. But I really did like the car and the setup. I mean, it was a little loose, and as the run went on, the tires got greasy. I actually lost it. I got 90 degrees at one point, but didn't hit anything, and only lost like half a lap.
Alrighty. Well, I guess that about wraps it up for anything that I got for you. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
No, I just want to say thank you for putting the series on. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait till next Wednesday. I think we're going to Thompson, which I grew up about an hour away from Thompson. I've been there in real life many times. I'm really looking forward to it.
I think so too, and I think a lot of the guys are probably going to go back and look at the broadcast, and even though there was just a few cars out here tonight, they're going to see what kind of racing went on and probably want to get involved with it. So at least that's my hopes, and even if they don't, I'm sure we'll eventually get a couple more. And I enjoyed broadcasting it. I enjoyed watching it. Went by really fast, so I got to adjust for that. Want to congratulate you on a second place finish, and we'll see you tomorrow night if you're there.
Hey, at the start of this race, I was pretty sure I was going to end up on the podium, and I did.
Congratulations on a second place finish.
Good night, Ron.
Good night. And the man of the hour, our winner, Mr. Edward Bray. Talk to me, sir.
How's it going, Ronald? It was a great race night. The car handled well. The longer runs that we had, the tires started going away a little bit, started getting a little bit slicker. So I was having to let off in the turn just a little bit and couldn't get right back on the throttle right away. But other than that, I mean, it was fun tonight.
I agree. I again, there wasn't a lot of cars, unfortunately, but I had a great time up in the booth, entertaining myself and trying to entertain the fans. But to be completely honest, it went by so fast that I was like, ooh, before this is over, I better start thanking people and everything else. And then I look up and there's like 10 laps to go. It just blew by. You did a fantastic job out there tonight. Just amazed. And like I said to Paul, kind of disappointed that he had issues because you guys seem to have quite the battle going on there. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, there was where he started running a different line than I was, but that line was a little bit better, and so I sort of, I guess, when we had the caution and we came back out and he had his issues, when he was in front of me on that one restart, I started seeing his line that he was running, and I figured, I said, well, let me try that line, and it actually worked out for me and passed him again. So yeah, I mean, it was some great racing. It would have been nice to, if he didn't have the technical issues, and we'd have been able to race it out a little bit more.
Copy that. Well, congratulations on winning the inaugural Summer Series Short Track or Summer Short Track Series race. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? We don't, since it's the new series, I don't think anybody really has their paint jobs done yet, that kind of thing. So we can't really talk about paint jobs yet.
No, I'm pretty sure that Black Talon will be showing its colors as soon as we get the vehicles all painted up for the series. But give a big shout out to Scott, for having KMA. Big shout out to you for doing the broadcast, and big shout out to Lee Staples, my teammate.
Copy that. Alrighty, well, I want to thank all three of you guys for coming out tonight and supporting KMA and supporting the series. And congratulations, Edward Bray. Go ahead and burn the house down while I take us home.
Man, thanks.
Thank you. All right, and out there on that KMA TV chat, Becky Whitmer, you are correct. So I will get with you. I'll have Scott get with you and get the information. I'll get that sent to you. Congratulations once again to Edward Bray for tonight's winning move. Had a great night of racing here at Concord Speedway. Once again, would have liked to seen a few more cars out here, but I thought it was a great race. Hope the fans enjoyed it. We'll be doing this again next Wednesday. We'll be broadcasting tomorrow night's race, and then it's back to Scott broadcasting on Friday, and possibly Scott and myself on Saturday. So from RTK Motorsports and KMA TV, thank you for watching, and see you next time.